Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the As Always podcast. Today we're here for a Spoilercast episode on the Batman. I'm one of your hosts, James, and I'm joined, as always, by Tyler.
As always, how's it going, my friend?
It's going well. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And you're right, I'm excited. It's the Batman Spoilercast, though.
Mm-hmm.
It is sort of replacing the slot of a normal As Always podcast.
It is, that's true.
Because it's the same show. So there may be a bit of random shit talk at the start before we get into the Batman. So there's timestamps for that. Yes. If, you do want to skip forward just to the Spoilercast bit. Because we might, talk for 10, 15 minutes about random shit that's going on as well before we start that. But of course, happy to be here. James, what's going on? What's new?
What is new? Not a lot. Not a lot's new.
Not a lot?
Yep. A lot is the same. Still kind of got COVID. Symptoms are still there. Well, I don't actually have COVID anymore. So, I'm not contagious. Right. The doctors have said that I'm not, so I'm good. But I still have symptoms. Yep. I don't really know how that works. It seems weird to me, but apparently that's the case.
It would be you that has that, though, to be fair.
Yep.
If there's anyone
true.
I know that's who would
so they're like, you can keep doing whatever you want, normal stuff, but you do have symptoms of COVID. And the call has dropped out. This is great. We're off to a fucking brilliant start.
Oh, in the middle of a roast too. I was trying to roast him for being frail. But here we are. Here we are, Josh. Here we fucking are. You better not keep this in. You better not keep this in, motherfucker. What'll I know? I'll never check. I don't watch my own shit. That's not true. I actually do. Not all of them, obviously. It's way too many. And I don't find myself that interesting. But sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. All right, let's try to reconnect to the call here. Let's see what James is up to.
Hello.
James, hello.
Hello.
Sorry I cut out so early. I'm afraid what I said is going to all get kept in. I have just a strong feeling that Josh is going to keep that section in, which is unfortunate, but we'll leave it there. What I was saying, though, is that it would be you that has ongoing symptoms of COVID if there's anyone I do know.
Exactly.
Like James. It definitely happened to fucking James.
Yeah. Yep. It's like I get something, and then it just doesn't go away. Yeah. And it stays forever, apparently.
Yeah, it hit you hard.
Indefinitely, yeah. I have COVID, so there you go. There's that. No, but I'm feeling better, so it's not as bad as it was. Symptoms are still there, but they sort of come and go, so I'm sure within...
Are you able to record videos again?
Weeks. I mean, what do you think? Do I sound alright?
Yeah, I think you sound fine.
Alright, then I am able to.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. Amazing.
Wonderful, yeah.
You're actually checking with me.
Yeah, I can't tell. I don't know. I've been with this, so I don't know if my voice sounds better or not, but maybe I can record some stuff. I mean, I'm writing my Horizon video, which is fun.
Dude, I finished that last night. Nice. Jesus fucking Christ.
It's big, isn't it? It does some things.
Dude, did you see what I tweeted about it?
No.
Oh, okay. Last night I did because I have my pinned tweet is like my games thread for this year. The games I've played, because in 2021 I finished 0 games. But this year I'm already up to 6. I'm already up to 6 games I finished. And I posted my scores for the games.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, James.
Holy shit.
That's all I will say. The next episode of the Four Pillars podcast is the Horizon Forbidden West Spoilercast.
I can't wait.
And I'm saying that publicly because that'll pressure Ethan and George to make sure they finish the fucking game. I'm confident Ethan will, based on where he's at in the game.
Yeah.
I'll say no more about that. He posted a picture on Twitter, I think, today. Or yesterday.
He's
And I was like, well, you've done at least that bit, and that's pretty fucking close to the end.
Yeah.
So confident with that. George, I don't know. Has he been playing Elden Ring?
No, he is not. He's saving it for after Forbidden West, yeah.
Good. Good.
Which is unlike George, to be honest.
I know. I'm so proud of him.
I know.
He's grown up.
I'm surprised he's decided to focus on this. But based on like looking at, I guess the photos he's posted, it looks like the area of the world that he's in is sort of like he's sort of unlocked the whole map now, or like unfogged the whole map. So
yeah,
it looks like he's sort of getting on with the game. So he should be done by next episode, I reckon. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's like I can't wait to talk about it fully. Do you know what else I can't wait to talk about?
Mm-hmm. What?
Take a guess. What do you think? I can't wait to talk about.
You want me to guess?
Yeah, why not? I'll ask you a question.
Fuck, that could be anything. I don't know.
Well, we're here for
Oh, you mean today? You mean today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You mean
right now? That's why I asked
you mean the Batman?
In this, I don't actually.
Oh, you've tricked me. You've tricked me again.
I did.
You tricked me twice.
I know. So what I am excited to talk about, I can't wait to talk about the Batman. What I can't wait to talk about is the great people over at Patreon.
Oh,
as always, yes, we're making this show happen. Those guys, yeah. Get in, son.
I like them.
Yeah, they're amazing people. You were like, well, what could be better? And I fucking just gave it to you there, James.
You brought it out really there. Yeah. That's good.
You sound so defeated, James. Don't.
I'm just fucking tired.
Just talking to you, just like your tone of voice. I'm trying to bring the energy up. I sensed it off on the call before we started recording. I was like, I need to pump him up a bit. And you're really just like talking to a fucking wall right now.
I know.
Like,
yep. I'm sorry.
I guess.
I'll get there. Hang on. What can I do?
But the great people at patreon.com/as always, they make the show happen. We would not be here without them. Thank you to those people, especially our producers, for making the show happen. So if you like what you're listening to hear or seeing here, and you want to hear or see more, head over to patreon.com/as always. And for just as little as $1 a month, you get exclusive access to the best podcast on the internet, the Clubhouse podcast. Mm-hmm. There's over like 130 episodes you can stream right now for $1.
So many.
It's the People's Podcast, powered by you, the people, especially our producers. So thank you to them. Ollie, the superior Ollie. Damien, the not-so-orange gnome. And he changed his PFP, James.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God, I've not got it up.
We've ruined it.
Fuck.
And here's the thing that we're losing our minds at, ladies and gentlemen, that don't know. This is an inside joke over on Clubhouse that you would know and appreciate happening right now for as little as $1 a month. Patreon.com/, as always. Again, thank you, Damien. We've got also Ferrantino, Flash Paradox, Franco, Jesper Olsen, Kingrich III, Oldbrick, Ryan Hafer, Viridian, and Ballsack47. Thank you, Sweet Venture Lads, for helping power this podcast. All right.
Oh my God, he did change his fucking... Oh my God, what is it now?
I know. It's devastating.
It's definitely a knight.
Who cares?
Yeah, it is. That's sad, though.
Who cares?
I miss when it was the gnome.
Who even cares? The fucking... What was it? Some anime girl?
Yeah.
I can't believe all this time it was a fucking anime girl.
I know.
And you and I both... We've never talked about it for 4.5 years. We've never talked about it with each other. We've both just individually and separately always thought it was an orange gnome.
I know. That's so
Until
amazing.
one day I asked the question. I did the worst thing I've ever done on a podcast. And I asked the question, I wonder what it actually is. Is it a gnome? I've never clicked on it. And then we find out it's just because it's a small image on the screen. Our eyes were playing tricks on us with the image. It's some fucking anime girl. And it's like, wow.
I just never thought. Like, it never dawned on me that it could be not a gnome.
It's genuinely since 2017.
2017.
4.5 years of patreon.com/as always.
Yeah.
Wow. It's fucking unbelievable. It's honestly unbelievable to me. But anyway,
tragic,
Clubhouse,
devastating.
Find out. You know, you can know all these stories, all these characters.
There's a public episode of Clubhouse. So if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, check out the public episode here on the network, and then you'll be in the know, and you'll be like, you know what, I want more of that. There's no way you'll listen to it and go, I don't want any more of that. You'll be like, I want significantly more of that, and there is that. You can find that. Yeah. It's on as always for just $1 a month.
It's amazing. I fucking love it. I feel like we've been pumping some really good content and podcasts recently.
Yeah, I think we're doing a good job.
I've been really enjoying them. Like I've definitely feel like, you know, when you have a break and we're always excited to get back into podcast, but then before you know it, you're sort of like, man, we're really doing a lot.
Yeah.
It's really, it's sustaining for me, and I'm really like, it's building, and I'm enjoying that. Like, it's been a while since it's been like that, where we're well into it, and I'm like, you know what, this is fucking great.
Yeah, I think
some fun ones.
Each one is like individual too. Like I feel like they've each got their own identity, so it's refreshing. You know, it's not like, you know, we do As Always and then we got to go do Four Pillars and it's the same thing. It's a different dynamic, and you always know it's gonna be a good laugh. As Always podcast, you know, it's a good laugh, but we'll have a good discussion. Clubhouse is fucking hilarious. I feel like we've done some really good Clubhouses recently.
Yeah, we have.
So it's I feel like it's good. I feel like we're doing some good stuff. I'm happy.
And I think part of the reason when we took that break and we were really excited to come back was partly because I felt like we started hitting that stride at the end of last year. I really felt like we started strong at the start of last year, but just hit this rut. But we did finally sort of get back on track and get back to the end of the year. And I felt like we wanted the break. We needed the break. The break was had. But we were building some good momentum. Like, in terms of just the quality of what we were putting out. And finding a rhythm of what we all actually wanted to be doing now. Rather than, I think, trying to do things we weren't enjoying. Which I think might have been the case as well. Yeah. If that makes sense. And we've all sort of found a good base and, you know, really enjoying it. Like that, even last As Always podcast, I just think of that Elden Ring section.
That was funny.
And it's just like, they're things that I think about, and I find myself watching our content back more than I used to. Like, I haven't listened back to our podcast in years. I feel like I've had a good 4 years where I'm just like, I'm not watching anything back ever. But this year I've really been, I think, doing that. Like, as we release it, I'll have a bit of a re-listen. I'll try to find some funny clips and like post on Instagram. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I want to like grab that and chuck it on Instagram as a story, like promo it, because it's a really good fucking clip. Yeah. And I would put it on the clips channel, but I'm like, oh, it's just an extra step. Whereas I'm like, I'd rather just fucking post on Instagram. Follow me at Tyler_4P. Just you know, because I want to get Instagram followers. But like the last Four Pillars podcast with you, me and George, that was such a great fucking time. Like,
yeah, that was funny.
We had such a passionate discussion about Horizon. We had a great laugh with George's recommended. Like, it was just a great fucking time. Yeah. And I did the Hawkeye Spoilercast or Streamcast with Eddie and Sheps. But like, it's an hour and a half long. I think we talked about Hawkeye for 20 minutes. Like, of that podcast. Classic. It really was just like dumb shit. Well, we talked about publicly the first time that I'm Jewish. We found out that I'm Jewish and of Jewish descent. And Sheps is also Jewish, like myself. So we bonded Amazing. Over our shared DNA. Yeah, as Jews and as God's chosen people. Yeah. And he made sure he wanted me to say that on Clubhouse, when you tried to say that it wasn't Jewish slaves, you tried to minimize my people's impact on the world, and you tried to say that Jewish slaves weren't the ones that built the pyramids, apparently. Okay. Yeah. And Sheps just wanted me to, and Eddie also wanted everyone to know.
That's deeply offensive.
That's what James is doing.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, you know, you're admitting that I'm right, but I don't hear it. I'm sorry. And that's, you know what I mean? That goes a long way.
Yeah, you're right.
I won't say it. Fuck. I thought I had him. We finally got the I'm sorry soundbite. Anyway. What the fuck else has been happening? I feel like there's been a lot of news recently about a lot of things, and I'm sort of just blanking on stuff.
You know what? I feel like there has been as well.
I've been deep... Oh, no, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. I was like, there's something really specific I wanted to talk to you about before we talked about Batman, and that's why I wanted to make sure we had a section before. James, last week I had a thought come over me. I just had this thought in my head. I was working from home, fucking Brisbane where I live, flooded. And I just worked from home a week and I had this thought cross my mind, and I was just like, fuck it. I'm booking flights to England. Like, I have to do it. I just had that. This has got to happen. I need to know. I need to book it I need it to happen. But I also thought to myself is, what did I do last time I came to the UK? Well, I had David Jerome over in America at that time. And I went over New York, hung out with him to LA, and then came to the UK. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see my best friend perform and do what he does. I'm going to fly to Miami, and I'm going to go on the ship he's cruising on and go see his shows. And then come to the UK. So I have now plotted out today dates, times, when I'm coming, and I'm going to book in the next couple of weeks and lock it in.
Sweet.
But I will be coming to America, to Mexico, and then back to America, and then the UK.
Amazing.
UK. So September, October, crossing in sort of that.
That's big gaming.
Few weeks.
That's some big bits of gaming. Why are you going to Mexico?
The ship goes through Mexico and the Caribbean.
Oh,
out of Miami.
Going to Mexico. Well, you just had this.
No, we do a couple of different stops in Mexico.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then the Bahamas at the end.
Cool.
As well. So, unintentionally going to another Assassin's Creed location.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because the first trip I did was Italy, and that was all that was obviously Assassin's Creed. I've been to London, then I went to New York, and I was just sort of like, I don't know why I'm like, what? Like, every fucking city I've been to is also in fucking Assassin's Creed. I'm like, I'm going to the fucking Caribbean. Of course I am.
Oh, yeah, Black Flag. I completely forgot that game exists. Shit.
What?
I don't know. My brain is like, I've switched off Assassin's Creed in my brain over the last couple of months. I don't remember any of it.
I don't know why I even brought it up, to be honest. I don't know why that came to mind, to be fair. It was weird for me that I brought it up.
That was weird that you thought, oh, I'm going to,
when I was,
in and around that region of the world, I'm going to link it to Assassin's Creed like a fucking autist. Even just the thought of coming to the UK and being around us has triggered that,
Like an autist. Yeah, I know. It's like, I don't know, like, it entered my head, and then as I was saying it, I was like, why are you saying this? Why are you bringing this up? Why are you actually saying this out loud? But it was too late. But that's what it is. That's what it is.
Well, that's fun. That's good.
But yeah, I just need to get the fuck out and go somewhere. A lot of people do. Yeah. After the last few years with COVID, and it's been so long since I've seen you guys. Yeah. And I miss the fuck out of you guys, and yeah, the time's needed. Something to look forward to is something also that sure. I've really missed. Like, it's just felt like you're looking forward to maybe things getting back to normal, but you don't know what that looks like. You know when that is, how long it's going to take. No, I want to look forward to something. Be like, this is the date. I'm going here. Let's do another trip. Yeah. So they'll be fucking awesome. People are talking about a meetup, and I'm like, it's possible.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what we're doing. I guess it depends if there's like a crossover with the EGX. It would make it easy, because I don't know what we're doing in terms of a meetup. I mean, I'm sure we'll get all our close gamers together,
Yeah, of course. No.
The favourites.
Yeah, our friends. The favourites.
Yeah.
The favourites. But yeah, you're right, 100%. I mean, I want to go hang with Eddie and Sheps and do some stuff with them. I fucking... You know what? I'll say I love those. I fucking love those boys. Off camera, off character of our show where we hate them.
It's not a character for me. I just don't like them.
Oh yeah, I know. I know that. That's why you never come on anything. It's always just me going on.
Yeah, exactly.
On this stuff.
Exactly. You got it just right. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm just keen to go around, see all the boys. And just, have a good time. And I'm sure we'll obviously do some Four Pillars content. We have to film some sort of sequel to our Four Pillars Assemble trailer. Yeah. Some sort of, Civil War type one. I don't know. I don't know what but...
We need to come up with something.
Yeah, come up with something. If we had a community like Civil War, and obviously I feel like the two people it would be between, it's you and me. Like, would have to play automatically that's where my head goes straight away. I don't know
Captain America and Iron Man. That's with the, like.
I get what you're saying.
I'm Iron Man for some reason.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, it sort of suits you, to be honest. Like, if I try to think of a Marvel character you would fit personality-wise, you're a bit of a Tony Stark. You know?
Well, thank you.
Not as... I mean, you're not a womanizer or
it's
anything,
just because,
obviously.
I mean, you don't know.
More of like...
I've never tried.
I don't know why I found that so funny. Like... You were really offended by, like, well, you're not a womanizer. And you're like, well, you don't know that. You don't fucking know that.
Like, I genuinely care. I'm like, no, wait.
I was like, why do you care?
I might be.
I never tried. You don't tell me. You don't tell me. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you couldn't. I'm just saying you're not.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You've reasoned with me well there.
Yeah, I've thrown you an idea and then I've taken it away. Yeah. You're not Iron Man, actually. I don't know. What Marvel character would I pick you with, though? That's a...
Spider-Man? Like, I'm small, nimble, maybe? I don't know. I've never tried.
Small and nimble?
Maybe I could do a cartwheel. I don't know.
Dude, in this trailer, you've got to do a cartwheel.
All right, I can try.
Yeah, you've got to
I can try. I can
and you get one attempt. There's no practices. We're gonna start rolling, and we take the first fucking attempt. Whatever it is, make it fucking good. I need you to give me 100% of that cartwheel, and I want to see what the fuck happens.
I know I used to be able to do it when I was like 6 years old, so maybe I still can. You know, nearly 20 years later, we'll find out. I can't wait now. I really want to do it.
I find this so fucking funny. Oh my god, you're doing a cartwheel. First attempt, no practices. Just, I already know how it's going to go. I know exactly how it's going to go, and I can't wait for it. I want it on camera. I want the world to see. You know? Yeah.
My first cartwheel in decades. Will be on camera. Oh. Yeah, I can't wait.
That can be like your move to attack me.
To attack?
Yeah, some sort of, you're like trying to do a cartwheel kick. Some sort of cartwheel kick.
Oh my god. That'd be fantastic.
Oh my god, that's fucking funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're small and nimble like Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, with the Marvel characters we always were as the four pillars. You were Captain America, I was Iron Man, Ethan was Hulk, and George is Fat Thor. And that's the four of us.
That makes sense, to be fair. Yeah, I do sort of see that.
We vaguely match those characters.
Well, yeah. I mean, I do have fucking Captain America's shield in the artwork for this exact show, so
that is true.
It's a bit on the nose now. But yeah. Yeah. Happy to take Captain America always. I mean, I didn't really take it. I took it. Like, I forcefully. No one else could have even had a chance at it. To be fair, so.
Well, none of us want it. You know. Not. That sounds like aggressive. Yeah, like no one wants Captain America. Yuck. That's not what I meant. I love Captain America. I just I don't know. He suits you. I don't know.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that's enough talk of that. We probably should get into the Batman. It is a Batman spoiler cast. Yeah. There's a lot to talk about. Here.
Yeah, there is a lot to talk about.
I mean, before we go super deep into the details, overall, I mean, and obviously for everyone watching, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the Batman, go see it. We're about to talk about everything. But just give us your cliff notes. James, what did you think about the Batman?
I think it's a movie that took me a little bit to get into, I think. Because it's not your typical film or typical superhero film, obviously, which is what I expected. Yeah. So it took me maybe 20 minutes, maybe max 20 minutes to get into it. But once I was in it, I was so in it. Like, I was so immersed in the whole film. Like, it didn't feel like a normal, like, film viewing for me, honestly. Like, I felt like I was just so in the film. It just, the way that they, like, the way that it was shot, the way that it looked, the way they used music, the acting was brilliant. Like, it was such a great cast. I just felt very immersed in the film. which was something that was just really, really great. I honestly did not notice the time go by at all. It didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome. If anything, it ended sooner than I expected, which is like weird because it was a long film. But I think that's a good thing. Like I don't want it to go on any longer, but it was, overall, just think it was a fantastic movie. It did so many things that I wanted it to do. It did more things that I didn't even think about that just work. It characterized all of the characters so perfectly, and also it characterized the city of Gotham so well, that I think the whole movie just felt alive in the most Batman way. And yeah, overall, I just thought it was a really, really, really great first entry into, what could be a multiple film series for this version of Batman. I think they've done a just superb job with it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I think the movie was fantastic. Really fantastic. I find it interesting that you said it took you a while to get into, or it took a bit for you to get into, let's say. I felt the opposite. I thought the first hour of this movie was 10 out of 10 perfection. I thought the first hour of this movie, which leads up to, at no point in that first hour is Batman Bruce Wayne. For that first hour, because I remember when he became Bruce Wayne, I literally looked at my watch going, what's the time? Holy shit, it's been an hour. Not an hour since the ad started, like an hour since this movie started. And we're now seeing Bruce Wayne. And he's been in every scene bar one.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Whereas I feel like the second 2 hours were more of 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. That's how I sort of still really, really, really good. But I thought lost me in certain places. And I did feel the time. I did think to myself, this has gone on. I feel like I'm watching a fourth act. Right. I feel like they put an act between act 2 and 3. They put an act 2.5. And I was like, just that little bit we might not have needed. But then at the same time, there was also things where I'm like, they should have fleshed this part out more. And the reason I say overall I say that is because I felt like this film tried to do too much. It felt like a movie that a director goes, I don't know how these studios go. I may never get another chance to make a Batman movie. I'm going to do everything I can possibly do to fulfill all of my dreams in this one movie. Does that make sense? It felt like he was making a Batman. Yeah. He was making a Batman movie to it was his dying breath to make this Batman movie, and he wanted to get all these little things in there that he wanted, and different storylines, and they were all good. I didn't think anything was bad. Actually, there's one scene I hated it, and it's the only thing I thought was bad in the whole movie.
Which scene?
I'll tell you in a sec.
Okay.
But everything was good, whereas if they took a couple things out and fleshed out what was left, all of those things would have been great. Really, really great. I felt like the Batman Catwoman romance was a bit forced, a bit rushed, and needed more time. It needed more time. I felt like it sort of jumped the gun a bit there. I felt like the storyline where she was Falcone's daughter didn't need to be there. Didn't add to the story. Didn't push the characters any direction either way. She was still going to try to kill him. If she thought he'd killed her friend, she would have done that exact thing anyway. You still could have put her in that scene and in that setting. I just felt like that was a little bit of a waste of time, and that we could have spent elsewhere, including relationships with characters like a Bruce Wayne and an Alfred. We did get it enough, but I'm we could have done with a scene or two more early on, and we didn't get that. And I felt like it was just, there's a few things I wanted to see more of, and you could have lost a couple of other things to get there. The one scene I hated, and I'll say this, like I said before, there were things that felt like Matt Reeves is I'm never getting another chance, I got to make this. But there were all things that were a sort of showing of his craft and love for Batman, and that he knows Batman, because everything he did put in there was that's good. You can tell that he gets it. Even if it doesn't nail the execution, you can tell he gets it.
Yeah.
There's one scene that I'm that is a studio scene. That is a studio scene. Matt Reeves did not want that in the movie. That is a studio forced scene, and that's the only scene like it in the whole movie, and I fucking hated it. And that's the scene at the end with the Joker. I hated that. I thought that was awful. It ruined like the end of the movie. I was like, I'm so pissed off at that.
I didn't hate it.
And the longer I think about it, the more I think about it, the more I hate it.
I thought it was
I'm
fine.
like, you're telling me a performance and a character that in live action can never be duplicated, can never be outdone, can never be beat in Heath Ledger, dies and is immortalized, but then we've continued now for the 4th live action Joker since Heath Ledger, 14 years ago, not even that long ago, and there's been 4 live action Jokers since him, and I just think it's a fucking spit on his legacy of the character. I think that it's a spit on the legacy of the character, not even to do with Heath Ledger. Like, they're doing him to death, and he's not like, I'm losing all love and interest in the Joker as a character. Like, are you serious? You've got the Joaquin Phoenix one. If you somehow managed to get Joaquin Phoenix into this scene, I might have like gotten a little excited about it, about the prospect of that at least character that I'm a little invested in seeing how that dynamic would go. That at least intrigues me. You're just throwing in some dude that, to be honest, didn't think it was a good performance of it, and the lines were shit. Like where he makes it so obvious. You could have been really subtle about it, and like, I think that's the Joker, but I'm not sure. But he's like, do you ever feel like a clown? And it's like, oh god.
Yeah, sure. God. It wasn't my favorite part of the film, and I could have done without it.
You're a clown, are you? You're a clown? Wow. Who must you be? I wonder.
Yeah.
But that's just how I felt about that.
It's one of those things you definitely could have done without it. I think I'm okay with it as long as the Joker isn't the focus of the second film. If they leave it a while,
the Joker and Two-Face and Harvey Dent, what should be that?
They just do the Dark Knight again.
Watch the balls on him to try to do the Dark Knight.
Don't do that. Because, yeah. Look, I get it, and I agree, like, it wasn't really necessary to have in there. Like, I obviously, I'm a huge Batman fan. I always want to see the Batman and Joker. And if you do Batman well, it's like, I'm just sort of dying to see that, those characters come face to face and see what this director, these writers can do with those characters, because it's such like a core to Batman. So I guess for me, it's like I really want to see what they can do with that, that dynamic between Batman and Joker. I don't necessarily need to see it right away. We can leave it a while. You can build to it. You can do plenty of other Batman stories in the meantime. Because Joker has been done to death, and I feel like he's lost that sort of that weight that the character had, back when we got the Dark Knight, and so I guess the scene doesn't bother me a great deal, although we could have done without it. I just hope the second film isn't a Joker film. If they were to do even more than 3 films, then save him for maybe the last one, whatever you do, or something, rather than like trying to do the Joker right away. Because this movie proves you don't need to do that. You don't have to use the Joker. You can create an absolutely solid film, and there's so many different villains. There's so many different Batman stories you can do. So, yeah. But I didn't hate the scene. I guess it was more, the prospect of like, oh, we're gonna get to see this version of Batman.
But what bothered me about it as well was that, like, do you agree with me that it felt like a studio scene in comparison to the rest of the film? Because this movie, the way it's directed, is so true to itself and so like in and of itself. It's not thinking about, oh, what's next or what else is in the universe that we can just mention because. It's like, no. We are making this story and we're going to make this as fucking gritty and authentic as possible. And then at the end, it spits in its own face and goes, but we're going to give you that. We're going to make another one scene.
Yeah.
Because we're just like everyone else. Where the rest of the movie felt like it was trying to make a point how we're not like every other superhero movie. You've never seen one like this.
No, I do get it.
It's like,
I get it.
Psych. We are exactly like all the other ones.
Yeah. No, I definitely get it. It does give those vibes for sure. Yeah. It's one of those things where it does feel like the whole movie is contained within itself and it's just trying to tell its own story. And there are little elements that are obviously like, this will develop in the future, in terms of, like Bruce's mentality and things like that. There's obviously stuff where it's like, thinking towards the future, but that obviously was a big, like, it felt like a post-credit scene almost. Which,
yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah, I can understand why it would bother you. I guess it just didn't bother me as much. I guess, I don't know. I guess I could just overlook it and be like, yeah, I guess like, you could do without it, but I don't know. Whatever, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't like super mad at it or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I get how you feel, though.
I wasn't like mad at it at the time. I didn't like it. But I think the more I think about it, every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, that was so fucking stupid. I hate they did that. But I don't want to talk about that one scene in the whole movie that I hated, whereas everything else I thought was fucking awesome. Yeah. So let's talk about the main portion of the movie, the actual movie itself.
Yeah.
From the start, I thought this first hour was the best part of the movie. I thought it opened so amazingly. Going into this, everyone talking about how, no, this is Detective Batman, it's comic book Batman. I'm like, okay. I want the Riddler to be like a fucking serial killer. I want it to be really like we're watching a superhero movie, but the detective. Oh, sorry, we're watching a serial killer movie, like a crime movie, but the investigator's Batman. Like that's what I want. That's what I want it to be. And the opening scene does everything to set that up, to set the tone for that. You felt like you were watching an episode of Mindhunter.
Yeah, like, exactly. Yeah.
It was so fucking good. With the like Riddler standing there like a serial killer would, like really like obviously had been stalking the victim and knew the victim well and felt intimate enough with the victim that they spend time and really breathe in the room before they even make the kill.
Yeah.
Like there's so many minor things they did with that to make it feel like, no, this is just a villain random murder. This is I'm enjoying, like, yeah, obviously there's a reason that I've targeted this person, like in terms of the story. Like it's not just some prey that a serial killer's found on the street. There's a specific reason that's the target for the movie, but there's an enjoyment in it that's very sexual that came across in that moment that is very serial killer. Yeah. Like the Riddler kills this person with a blunt object and like very intimate, very like I'm doing this myself kill, and then afterwards mounts him and then really breathes it in like that like deep breath. And I was like, oh, that is so fucking creepy.
I know, yeah.
But so good.
Yeah.
In terms of the tone you're trying to set for this movie.
Yeah,
what do you think of the opening?
It immediately characterizes the Riddler in such a way, like in such an interesting way, because the Riddler has never really been done in a super, like, he's not a very threatening villain in a lot of Batman media. Like, I don't know, maybe there's some comics out there where he's like really, really, threatening.
He's always been one of my favorites, like top 3 favorites as a concept, but it's never been done very well.
And I think like even you look at the Arkham games, they do so many villains incredibly well, and the Riddler's great in it, but he's hardly a threat, sort of fun. He's like, he just places a bunch of trophies around, mocks Batman a bit, does some funny riddles, and he's kind of a bit of a joke. So, and as much as I like do like that depiction of the Riddler, and it has its place in Batman media, seeing this was like, it's so cool to see this sort of reinvention of a classic, iconic Batman villain. Yeah. And I think they opened incredibly well with it, giving you those eerie, fucking creepy vibes that just sort of unsettle you from the very start. And then you just feel sort of really part of this this mystery that Batman's trying to solve. And it's sort of, it just really, really kicks off strong.
Do you feel like this rendition of the Riddler, not just as the Riddler, I think it stands on its own, but in terms of live action Batman villains, I'd put it up there in the top 3 for me personally.
Yeah, I reckon so. Mainly because of the implication, sort of like the I guess the effect he has like on Batman as a character in this film as well, I think is really important.
I agree with you, and I think that's why this Riddler stands out. It wasn't just because the way the Riddler was played by the actor was really good, so it's really good. No. I'm talking about also the impact it had on our characters and the future of Batman as a character. That scene in the visitor section of the prison is, only rivaled, only beaten by the interrogation scene in The Dark Knight with Batman and the Joker. That's the only one that beats it when we're talking one-on-one live-action Batman villain moments. Mm-hmm. You've got the interrogation between Batman and the Joker, number one, numero uno. But this fucking scene is the only thing that rivals it.
Yeah.
I thought it was incredible. Sorry to skip ahead, but dude, that's why I think the Riddler stands out in this movie to me as one of the best live action Batman villains.
Yeah.
Was that scene.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's one of those moments where it's super unsettling and it's so in character with this this villain that we've been tracking the whole film. But also that connection then to Batman and this realization that there's always that thing in Batman media where it's is it because of the villains that Batman exists, or is it because of Batman that the villains exist, sort of thing? And it's this idea that Batman, inspired the Riddler to do what he does, and that sort of duality and that connection between them, and sort of the way that Bruce reacts to that, and it's just such a impactful moment in the film that says a lot more, and it makes the villain mean a lot more to the overall story and to Bruce as a character, which I think it's something so inherently Batman. And it was just a scene the entire time I was like, this is fucking incredible. And as well, the performances, the use of music, camera work, all of it, it was just such an intense, well done scene. It was really, really good.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like you said, that impact of I only exist because of the Batman. And you say it's inherently Batman. It is one of the better tropes that superhero movies can do. And I don't think many movies have utilized it very well. I think Civil War is the only other one you can think of that they really try to drive home the implication that the heroes may actually be they're the solution, but they're also the cause to a lot of these problems as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And what are the consequences to that? Well, everyone that's died, everything that's happened here is a consequence of you taking up the mantle of the Batman.
Yeah, it's by trying to do what's right, there are these other people that are going to get that twisted or try and compete, when you look at the Joker and trying to break Batman and stuff. And these I guess you want to supervillains, if that's what you want to call them, sort of come out because of the Batman, and that whole that being a part of the story was really cool, because I don't think that really they ever touched upon that in the Nolan films. It never felt like a central thing, although obviously there's that the Joker is always going to be sort of a parallel to the Batman, but I like that was such a central thing here, and it was such a turning point for Bruce, sort of to realize that to help the city, he can't just be Batman. You got to use Bruce Wayne. That was a huge part of it as well, and that was because of that connection with the Riddler as well. So it's it's a big turning point for Bruce as a character moving forward with this version of Batman. So I like that the Riddler was such a poignant villain for this version of Batman, and to push him wherever he goes next in future films.
Also, it taught him who he needs to become and the purpose of the Batman.
Yeah.
It's not just in the shadows vigilante.
Yeah.
That's just doing the right thing, because what difference he talk, and that's where it gets at the end. I can also be hope.
Yeah.
I don't just have to be vengeance. And you need to have both to be the right hero. Otherwise you're just going to continue to create more monsters than you do good people. And I think that's what he saw there. The monster creator was the perfect monster for the perfect time for that character. 2 years in, not super famous within Gotham, people know, but not super famous and built up a hero that's done a lot. Clearly hasn't fully proven himself. Just sort of been in the news, but so you would have that just sort of cult weird follower that takes it up, a sort of mantle like the Riddler. To sort of match the Batman, just this sort of in the shadows amateur kind. Whereas now that this Batman has done some big things and is really well known and gives that hope, the next villain needs to be now a response in competition to that Batman, rather than this sort of underground creation. It's got to be a challenger to that Batman, and that's what you sort of need to do for that next story, no matter what villain you do. That's how I sort of feel.
For sure. And I mean, in terms of villains, I mean, obviously this is getting into like sequel territory, but since you just brought it up, like, what do you think would be a good villain to do?
I really like
competition.
I really like what they did with this in terms of keeping it. I think the Riddler was a good angle to take, something different. It's the same thing of whether you like him or hate him, all the new Tom Holland Spider-Man films. I just like that they gave some more obscure villains a good crack and actually did a pretty good job with them. Like, you hadn't seen a Mysterio or a Vulture and things like that. And I like that they tackled the Riddler. Like, yeah, Catwoman, that's, it's Batman, it's Catwoman, it's going to be there. We know that. And the Joker will eventually be there. There's those characters you have to have involved. But then, having a Penguin, having a Riddler, there's like, we haven't seen them for a long while in a live action setting. So it's cool to see. And they were done both very well, I thought. And obviously they're doing that HBO Max show with Penguin as well as a whole separate series. So they're obviously investing in that. But I think for the future, I'd like to see something similar and obscure. And I know they've done Scarecrow before in Batman Begins, and obviously the whole appears in all the movies actually in the trilogy, in the Nolan trilogy. But I like that was such a great sort of obscure villain. You could really sort of exaggerate to be quite intimidating, quite threatening. I don't want to see like a Bane, and I don't want to see a Joker. People have been mentioning Mr. Freeze, but I struggle to see how to do that well. But maybe that's why you do it. Maybe you find an angle with Mr. Freeze. But can he really be, by definition of a character, the main sort of villain when we know the sort of backstory to that character? It's not a very it's a bit deep.
Difficult to do, and I think you could completely reinvent the character. You could do that, but then I don't know if that works thematically for like the next, because it kind of seems random as opposed to like something that makes thematic sense moving forward.
I want it to still be a detective film and have that vibe. So I do think to like, well, where do you go? Like, who can you do that with also? You can obviously do it with the Joker, but that's always there. You don't have to rush that. I don't know. I find it hard to think of like a really compelling side villain. Like, Catwoman's going to come back, and they're probably going to make her go sort of full bad surely for the next one, and then you bring her back in the third movie, she becomes good, like bit of that storyline going on. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I would like to see them try and do Two-Face at some point, although that was,
we love Harvey Dent is a great
point of the
character.
Dark Knight. But then thinking about like, how can you have that? Like, if Batman starts to rise up and people of Gotham see him as a hero, is it possible then Harvey Dent sort of is then that like actual figure of good to then combat this sort of vigilante good? And then you see that sort of spiral, obviously, with him becoming Two-Face at some point. Is that sort of like a possible conflict that could happen? I mean, it's sort of similar to what they really did in The Dark Knight, so I don't know whether you want to retell that story again, of like Harvey Dent kind of saying, we can't look to the Batman for hope, we got to look to, people like me sort of thing, and him doing the right thing there in Gotham, which it makes sense thematically moving forward, but it then might be the same story you're telling.
It just feels like you're literally trying to rival The Dark Knight again.
Yeah,
which,
and it's
in my opinion still remains the best Batman film ever made.
It's a bit tough to do. I mean, it's difficult for me to say. I'm gonna have to leave it a few months before I can really decide.
Well, I think if you think it's better than The Dark Knight, you need to give it a few months to make sure you haven't knee-jerked it. But I find it hard to believe I'm going to build up love for this. That's when I just feel like now I know. I don't think it's better than The Dark Knight.
I think it definitely rivals it for me. And the only thing, I just love the way... I think I love the way the film looks and the way the film feels so much more than I love how The Dark Knight feels. Okay. And I think that's that version of Batman for me, I like more. Like, already I much prefer this version of Batman to Christian Bale's version of Batman, although I do love everything they do with Batman there. But I was never hugely connected to the Christian Bale Batman. I love those films so much. I think they're brilliant. But I was like, that was never like my favorite Batman. Like I prefer the Arkham games Batman.
Christian Bale's my Batman.
Yeah.
Christian Bale's definitely my Batman, even still. And I love Rob Pattinson's probably my second favorite now. But like,
I feel like I've never had like my Batman on screen. I feel like I've never had that. So this feels like probably my Batman, like the Batman I've always had in my head that is now translated to live action. And I think
I'd happily say mine's Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
That rendition of Batman that's how I see Batman.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted Batman to be.
Yeah.
When I was a kid and they're making the shit movies. And I'm like, but I love Batman. Mm-hmm. What's Batman look like? It looks like that. Mm-hmm. That's what Batman looks like.
Yeah. That's fair. They're great films.
But Robert Pattinson, also phenomenal. He's the Batman I didn't know I needed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I'd describe this Batman to me.
Yeah.
He's the Batman I needed. I just didn't know it.
Yeah. I think I like as well seeing that it's like Batman in his early days, but like where it sort of critiques Batman. I really enjoy those stories where it really takes its time to be like, look, is Batman doing the right thing? Is Batman the cause of what's happening in Gotham with these villains? Like, you know, like where's Bruce at with his mentality? Like Arkham Origins is a game that's in a way tonally and like narratively quite similar to the Batman film, just in the way it handles where Bruce is at as Batman. And I always really liked that, and that whole story and the way they handled that. So I think doing that in a film was like, for me, was really cool because I really liked that whole critique of Batman as an angle to go at with your narrative. So for me, it was just like everything about this was just very special and felt like the stuff that I love in Batman the most. So it's going to be tough to say whether I prefer it to The Dark Knight because The Dark Knight is so strong as well. But I'm going to have to give it a while before I can properly say. Give it a rewatch as well.
I totally forgot Danny DeVito played the Penguin in Batman Returns, and I just makes me laugh so much.
I've never seen that film.
You've never seen Batman Returns?
No, I've never seen those old ones. Well, I've seen them. You've on never seen TV, but I've never.
But you haven't watched the Michael Keaton Batmans? Oh, those were. I loved. Dude, I really loved Batman as a kid. Like I loved those. I've seen them so many times.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
I might watch them one day.
I'm just looking at all these like this ranking of like the best Batman live action villains, and they put Joker fourth. Keith Ledger's rendition. I was like, what the fuck?
Who's first?
They put Danny DeVito as Oswald Cobblepot third. I was like, how dare you? Number 2 is Bane, Tom Hardy, which to be fair, I really fucking love Bane more than most people, I reckon.
Yeah, like, it's a really good rendition of Bane. It's so much more interesting than a lot of other versions are, I think.
Yeah. And it feels like, I think that's why I'm such a fan of Nolan films and the way Nolan makes films, that when I watch, like, The Dark Knight to me stands as a superhero movie, one of the best all time, and the best Batman movie in my opinion. The Dark Knight Rises, I don't like it because it's a good Batman movie. It's not really, but it's a fucking great Christopher Nolan film. Mm-hmm. It's a fucking amazing Christopher Nolan film. Mm-hmm. And that's why I love The Dark Knight Rises. And Bane's a big part of that, and the way he films that. Like that scene in the plane when with Bane at the opening, I'm like, this is such a fucking wild, crazy Christopher Nolan scene.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
yeah, I love that film. It's a great film. I'm just trying to run my head through different villains you could do, and it's just like, man, they've done Batman a lot, haven't they? There's just so many. No one's been not done. Yeah, I'm trying to think of ones
Jim Carrey played the Riddler, dude. That's so. And it's just a terrible Riddler, also. Poison Ivy. That's one that hasn't been around a long time.
You could do Mad Hatter. That'd be interesting.
You could do.
He's a bit of a crazy bloke. He could be doing some killing. Or like Victor Zsasz. You could do that.
Victor Zsasz. I don't know who that is.
He's like a murderous, crazy man. He like every time he kills someone, he like carves a tally on his skin. Which is pretty weird. Pretty weird bloke.
That is pretty fucking weird. Like, yeah, your staple Batman villains, like the like foundational Batman villains are Two-Face, Joker, Riddler, Penguin, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, Scarecrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are your main ones that you think of. I barely know the ones outside of that. Like, obviously I know a few, but, like, not a lot. Not a lot. What did you think of Catwoman in this movie?
I thought she was good. I think there's a lot more potential to do more with her. I think you can try and do some more stuff. I liked that there was that sort of moral ambiguity, but I like that we could also understand why she was doing what she was doing, but then we could also understand why Batman wasn't going along with it as well. She was a nice way to be able to have Batman reinforce his like no killing rule without, turning to the camera and saying I don't kill people. So that was sort of good. I'm interested to see what they do with her in the future. But I feel like she wasn't tapped into fully in this film, which I feel like was a point, the point. They didn't want to fully tap into her in the film, so there's plenty more you can do with her down the line. But I thought she was good, performance was good, casting was good. She looked cool too.
Zoe Kravitz? Oh, Jesus Christ almighty. What a gorgeous woman. I'm in love. James, I'm in love.
Understandable.
My heart's healed. Fallen in love again. It's Zoe Kravitz. That's how I feel. No, but I loved her. I thought she was fantastic in this.
Yeah, she was very
good. I do think, again, like, there's more you can do with her, and you also did too much with her in this movie. Like, you need to spend more time developing if you want to do the romance, you need to spend more time on that, building that, and not rushing it, and less time on this whole, my dad's this guy that also doesn't know me at all. And it does nothing with the story really at all. Like, she had the motivations already to kill and do something for a friend that died. You didn't need to add but he's also my dad.
Yeah.
That's just,
you probably didn't need to.
Yeah. I guess I was just trying to give Falcone more screen time, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
think that's
so.
the only reasoning I could think of, but you could have just done more with Penguin with him. I don't know. That's just sort of my 2 cents on it. And he's not the main villain anyway, so it's like, whatever. But the more important character, obviously, is the Batman, Bruce Wayne, Robert Pattinson himself. And we haven't really talked about him a lot. And I think, by far and away, the best part of this movie is how Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson interpreted the Batman. And the way they filmed the Batman, the way they portrayed the Batman was so phenomenal and perfect in this movie. What did you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all the angles and shots, like using have him shrouded in shadow and stuff for a lot of the film, I thought was really good. And also I really appreciated how, because he's quite early in his career, he wasn't perfect at fighting people. Like, he would take a few hits here and there. Which I think was nice. It sort of grounds us in this film where it's not, it's not the Arkham games.
He didn't
where
feel
you
indestructible.
Across the room and stuff.
He did not feel indestructible.
He feels like a man. He feels like a man at points, which is, I think, connects us with him more as well. Which is quite an interesting way to go, and obviously he's got room to grow there as well, which gives him room to develop. And I like that the film was choreographed in a way, the action was choreographed in a way that was it just felt quite real, which I think was quite engaging. Overall, Batman was I think, like I said, I mean, this is probably my favorite on-screen interpretation of Batman. Just the way that they've the angle they've gone at for him as a character and as a symbol, I think is cool. Starting the film off sort of describing the way he is this symbol of fear in Gotham, and that was brilliant. When you have the bat signal in the sky and all these different criminals are seeing it and freaking out, I'm like, yeah, this is so good. That's what Batman's all about, being the symbol of fear to all of these people in Gotham, and that gave me big Arkham Origins vibes, which is a story I really like. So that stuff was all really cool. And I think they did a really good job in, the first reveal of him as well, when he steps out of the shadows on that train platform.
Oh, yeah.
Was really, really cool.
I think hour of this movie, dude, is so phenomenal.
It's brilliant. I think this film is just a big indulgence in why Batman is so cool. It's not afraid to be you know what, this guy in a bat suit is fucking cool, and we're gonna just indulge in that. We're not gonna shy away from it. We're not gonna pretend oh, it's cringe. We don't want to We don't want to do it properly. Like, no, it's really fucking cool, and we're gonna like make it cool. And I think that's really like I like that about the film a lot.
And you forgot that it was fucking Robert Pattinson under there. Honestly, like it was such a great performance by him as the character. Like he felt like Batman, and Batman felt intimidating. He felt like a fucking badass. He felt exactly how Batman should feel, but also, like you said, connected, grounded in a way, enough, but not too much, to still feel like it's Batman. He's fucking superhero. He's fucking awesome, and it's cool. Yeah. Batman is cool again, and I just thought the performance was so subtle. It was all the subtle little things, the little nods to things, the bits of information. There was so much Batman to this Batman, and they threw none of it in your face. Yeah. It all felt earned. It all felt like it made sense. It was all there in the little subtleties. That's what I called it when I walked in. I called it a subtle masterpiece, because and what I meant by that was how they interpreted this character. I thought the best part about it was how they did so much by saying so little. Yeah. They didn't have to like throw it all in your face. There's like those moments where like at the first murder scene where he sees the kid, and he just makes eye contact with him, and like he doesn't have to say like, oh, I connect with him because I lost my parents and I feel bad for him. Like you just see that connection, and then there's the moment where Alfred then didn't need the flashbacks or anything. Yeah, you didn't need the flashback to show. It's like if you know Batman, you know Batman, and there's the moment where the pearl necklace. Oh god, I'm so glad. I'm so glad they didn't do it. It's the same reason I love Spider-Man Homecoming, because I'm so glad I didn't have to see them explain, oh, Uncle Ben died, and with great power comes great responsibility. I'm like, I've seen it. This will be the third time in like 15 years I've seen it. Don't need that. I'm so glad they didn't do that. I felt the same way in this movie, where it's like we all know exactly who he is. They don't need to tell us who Bruce Wayne is. Just tell us who the Batman is. That's what we want to know. Yeah. And it was done in a really, really good way. And I like the it's quite refreshing after watching all of these MCU Spider-Man films that, although I love No Way Home, it's refreshing to see Batman pretty much always wearing his mask, whereas in like those movies they're like trying to get as much screen time with Tom Holland's face as they possibly can. He's big money now. Yeah, they have got to always I reckon percentage of time on screen where mask is on to off drastically shifts in the later movies. I reckon in Homecoming and like Civil War, you saw his face fuck all. They really kept that mask on. And then the more famous Tom Holland got, there's way less mask time, to the point where like on the cover of these fucking movies, it's Tom Holland's face, not even Spider-Man. That's fucking insane, dude. I don't like it. Tobey Maguire didn't get that. Andrew Garfield didn't get that. And not even he got it in Homecoming. In Homecoming, Spider-Man's on the cover. Far From Home, it's Tom Holland, dude. Yeah. No Way Home, it's Tom Holland, dude. I get it, and I don't like it. It's fucking fun. It's so weird. I've not really thought about this until just when now. You notice, it's weird because you watch No Way Home, and it's like every time Spider-Man's having a conversation, he just takes his mask off all the time. It's so weird. It's so fucking weird. He can't do that in the next movie? No, he can't. Sorry, I realised in honor this is like... spoilers. Shit. Whatever. Yeah. It's been long enough. It's one of the biggest movies of all time. You've seen it. Yeah. But, dude, I mean, he can't. He can't do the next They can't movie. Do that. So hopefully we get more of this. Hopefully they're not going to try something like this. That's why they're making a serial killer film. Just do the Batman again, but it's Spider-Man instead. It's just so tonally off. It's Tom Holland. And you just know the cover would be like that vertical half mask. Halfway through the face, it's like, we want to have Spider-Man on the cover, but it's also Tom Holland. Oh my god. Don't forget, it's also Tom Holland. God damn it, Marvel. But yeah, no, I like that about this film, that the Batman was the center and we don't really see Bruce Wayne, but also it works narratively as well, because like this is a movie where Batman believes that Bruce Wayne has no purpose and he doesn't believe that he can use Bruce Wayne at all. Yes. And so he's just fully indulging in Batman. That's just what he feels is the way that he can help this city. And obviously the arc takes him to be like, you get to a point, because I felt like there was a point in the middle of the film, I guess, where I was like, it's a bit weird that Bruce Wayne's they're not doing a lot with him, and like he's not like when Alfred talks about how they've got a meeting or whatever, like he's not
trying with any of that, and like it was weird. But then I sort of realized the film, and I'm like, oh, that's the point. Like he's supposed to be at this point feeling like Bruce Wayne is.
He's like addicted. He's like a drug addict.
Yeah, he's like. Well,
they do
Batman
describe
is all that matters.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that was intentional.
Yeah, and it was really good, and I like that a lot. Because it means that in the future, it means that Bruce has now got to he's got to build that character of Bruce Wayne up now, and that's got to be a central point because he's got to make Bruce Wayne a figure for hope as well and change and stuff and try and do his best in that aspect of his life too, which will be interesting to see how they tackle that. Because now it won't just be, Batman as a figure. We've also got to see, what he does with Bruce Wayne, moving forward too, which I think will be really cool to see that aspect develop.
Which is definitely like, and it's a whole different role you've got to play as the actor playing. Whereas like it felt like Rob Pattinson found this character and did an amazing job with it, but like you said, there is no Bruce Wayne. He was Batman all the time, really.
Yeah,
he barely tried to put on a character with Bruce Wayne. Barely tried.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what is his Bruce Wayne character, because that's partly why I love Batman too, because I also love Bruce Wayne, even though he's not like real. Yeah. It's part of why I love the character.
It's fun to see him pretend to be Bruce Wayne.
And it's always been a part of it that I've loved. That he's also like, he plays this like cool rich guy. I'm like, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's
it's an act, and it's not even real. It's him putting on a fucking character.
It's really cool. It's like watching Batman act like Tony Stark. Like you're seeing him put on this act of
it's
this
fake.
like
it's bullshit
billionaire, fucking.
And I thought,
guy.
And that's why also I love Christian Bale's rendition, because I think he's the best Bruce Wayne by far.
Yeah.
I think he's by far the best Bruce Wayne. Like people, I don't think rate him that highly as Bruce Wayne. I'm like, no, he's so good at just being a piece of shit. Yeah. Like you literally don't like him when he's Bruce Wayne, really. And it's, I'm mainly talking about The Dark Knight and maybe and Batman Begins, because The Dark Knight Rises is fucking, it's not even a Batman movie. It's just a great Nolan movie, because he's Bruce Wayne the whole fucking time, but he's not playing Bruce Wayne. He's just like Christian Bale, in the movie.
Yeah.
And I say that with the greatest respect, because I think Christian Bale is dead set the best actor alive working today. 100%, and it's not close. So I rate Christian Bale very fucking highly. I think he's the best actor in the world. Mm-hmm. But Dark Knight Rises, not his best. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But the way he plays, Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight is so fucking good. And that's a subtle fucking masterpiece. You talk about subtlety as a Bruce Wayne character. Like, they literally Christian Bale uses his character of Bruce Wayne to make the audience love Harvey Dent. The way he acts like a fucking dickhead in front of Harvey Dent to make Harvey Dent look like such a good character.
Yeah.
Or like a good person to the audience. That we're like, wow, it sort of shifts you to like think this highly, almost higher than our main character that we're supposed to love, and it really sort of fucks with your head a bit. But I'm like, that's so cool that that they do it that way, and that's how Nolan wanted to do it, like, and play off Bruce Wayne, where it's like, you're not supposed to like Bruce Wayne, you're supposed to like Batman.
Yeah, exactly, and that's one of the things I'm really interested to see them tackle in the future of this version of Batman is. Yeah. That is Bruce Wayne as a character and this like act that he has to put on. I really want to see him develop that, and see where they take that. It's one of the things that, although the show Gotham was like off the rails fucking weird, one of the things that was really cool about it was when Bruce sort of figured out that he couldn't just be himself and had to invent this Bruce Wayne character, and seeing him do that was actually really good. It was really well done in the show. I really liked that aspect of it. So seeing them do that with this version of Batman, I think it's going to be really good. And seeing how Robert Pattinson sort of tackles that role is going to be cool as well. So I'm interested in that for sure. Yeah.
And him finally figuring out, like you said, there is a use for it. And he sort of, because he gets a bit of Bruce Wayne time, especially at the end of the movie with the Alfred section. Mm-hmm. Where you see that glint, and he talks about part of the and him talking about why he almost became the Batman, not just because I want to, it's my family's legacy and I want to do good for Gotham, but there's literally also it's his escape from connection, because he doesn't want to be connected. He never thought he never wanted to have that feeling of fear again. He's trying to fight fear in himself. Like, that's such an important scene. It's like when he's talking about how the only time he's felt that afraid was since his parents died, was thinking Alfred might die. And it's like, oh, dude, that's so fucking psychologically deep. Yeah, the way he's confessing that, like, that's so intense that you see into that psyche and how broken he is. Like, they talk about him, we talked about him being like almost like a drug addict to being addicted to the Batman. They did mention like Kurt Cobain, like, as an inspiration for the way that he played Bruce Wayne, like the lead singer of Nirvana, who died of fucking drug overdose, like fucked up shit. But like, it feels like that sort of rock star lifestyle you're living at the nighttime, and chasing the high or the escape or whatever, and the impact it's having on your day-to-day life. Like you talked about in the opening scene being nocturnal. And it's like, that's so fucking weird. And I was literally thinking in my head, I remember when the movie started, like, when does Batman sleep? I can't even like picture in my head Bruce Wayne or Batman like sleeping. Like, it's not a thing I think about a lot, because you've got to be Bruce Wayne in the day, and then at night you want to be Batman because that's who you are. And I don't know. I think about, I'm like, man, he must be like exhausted, and this movie's like really showing. It's like, yep. Yeah. He looks pretty fucking tired all the time. Yeah, he really does.
He looks fucking haggard, and he's like wearing his sunglasses during the day because he's like used to the dark. Which was cool. They do a good job with that.
Yeah, I loved Andy Serkis' Alfred as well. I'm such a big Andy Serkis fan.
He's very good. Yeah, he really suits the role.
And I like how Alfred's a bit of a boss, like of the Wayne family as well. Like, the other people come to him for stuff, and he just fucking runs it. He's running the show, covering for Bruce, all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
How did you feel about sort of, let's talk about Gotham, the city, and its sort of backgrounds. You know, we see a bit of it with like the founding families, the Arkhams and the Waynes, and you see into the underground with Falcone and the Penguin. And those are all really just characters, a part of Gotham. What did you feel about Gotham? You said you just loved the rendition they did of it in this movie. Do you want to like elaborate on that?
Yeah, it was an incredible like rendition of Gotham. It was like just the Gothic architecture, like, from looking at I guess it was Wayne Tower or whatever. Like the interior of that, the Gothic design of it. The use of like, they have the whole like church and stuff for that scene with the memorial and everything. You've got like the graveyard at the end, which is cool. I feel like they picked their locations pretty well. But just like the grimy streets and like the neon lights and like the way they use like rain very frequently, and like just like I feel like every shot of the city was like unique, and it managed to characterize something about the city, like whether it was like, people living on the streets, or the crime aspect, or just the way that things were falling apart and like things like that. I really loved that, but also like the history of Gotham as well, like with what the Waynes were trying to do, and all of those aspects, and like the way that people do want to save this city. And like that's one of the things I love about Gotham, is that there's always people that have hope and want to lift the city out of what it's in. But the state that it's in is such like it's sort of just like, it's part of why Batman exists and why these stories are told. And I just think Gotham was just, it's easily probably my favorite depiction I've seen of Gotham, probably ever. It was just, it was everything that I sort of imagined Gotham to be, brought together into like one on-screen depiction of it. And I just thought it was just brilliant in that way. It never felt like it was somewhere else. It always felt like I was in Gotham City, no matter where the movie takes you, which I thought was like really immersive and really well done world building, which was great.
Yeah, I agree. It was that perfect balance between, like, you look at a Nolan where it's just like it may as well be set in New York or Chicago, like a real world city, to which is the interpretation Nolan was going for with that trilogy, and I love it, and I think it has its place. But and then you've got the comic book over the top one, but then you've got this, which takes the best parts of both to create a Gotham. And then, like I said, uses lighting, uses colors really well, uses time of day really well also. Like rarely see Gotham in the day, and when you do, it's very overexposed because you want to sort of feel like hungover because like Bruce does. He's been out all night. Like you want to put sunglasses on when it's daytime in Gotham because you're like, what the fuck, this is really bright. And then it really brings, it's obviously a very, like, quite literally a darker movie in the sense that most scenes are at night in this film. Most of the movies takes place at night. So I just loved the way they filmed it and portrayed it. And like you said, the different classes and areas of the city. I thought like that was really, really well done. Something that I actually really liked about the Joker film as well. Like I really liked how they did Gotham in that movie.
Yeah. Gotham was quite good in that film,
Yeah, in that, because you only saw one sort of area, and you're like, that would be a fucking place in Gotham. There would be that shithole place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought they did a lot of things really well, and even when they were like making obvious connections between real world places, like it was obviously set in New York, and they just sort of added shit to it, and then they had like Gotham Square Garden where MSG was. And it's like, oh yeah, but they still made it sort of feel like you believed that it's its own place. Yeah. So I thought that was really, really, really well done. Really well done.
Yep.
And what did you think about the sort of backstory of the film, like the family history side of things? Like Riddler's intentions for this film were to show the lies, the cover-up, the deceit of the people that run Gotham City. What did you think of that being sort of the premise story for the villain?
I like that. I like a good sort of like story of corruption, like within a like system. I like that quite a bit, and they did a little bit of that in the Nolan trilogy as well. But I think it taking like sort of front and center here. I like the idea that everyone, there's like so much corruption in Gotham that like it's almost broken to its core, and like how do you fix that? And like was the Riddler in a way doing the only thing you could do in that situation? Like there's sort of is that, although he's obviously the villain, obviously you're not supposed to really sympathize with him, there's that idea of like like did these people deserve it? Were they terrible people that just preyed on the weak and poor people of Gotham and like continued to make the city worse just to line their own pockets? There's that whole aspect to it, and I like that. I feel like that's quite a central thing to Batman, is the corruption of like Gotham and the GCPD as well. So I liked all of that stuff. I thought that worked really well, and it helped characterize Riddler too as a villain. I think it all sort of went hand in hand, and as well then leading into like Bruce's backstory and like his history with his parents, and like the difficulties coming to terms with what his father did, and then like Alfred filling him in on like what actually happened, and like there's complications. It's a complex situation, and like Bruce coming to terms with all of that. So learning about all of that stuff I think was really good, and again pushes forward Bruce's idea that he needs to use his company and needs to use the Wayne name to do something better for Gotham as well, based on the past as well, which I think is all really good. I think it was all very compelling stuff.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that, and like you said, the connection, all those different elements of that backstory made to everyone was involved. That was in the story of our main characters. Like it somehow touched all of them. Falcone obviously being in there, and yeah, they did. Even though I didn't like it, Selena being his daughter brought her into that sort of connection with the complications of what is going on in the main story. You've got when one of the riddles, and you have that realization, you're like, oh shit, he's talking about Bruce fucking Wayne. Like when you realize halfway through the movie that one of Riddler's ex-target is Bruce Wayne, and you sit there guessing the whole time. I'm like, is it because he knows that he's Batman? And there's all these times they trick you into thinking he knows somehow. How does this fucking guy know everything? How's he that much of a stepper? But then you realize, like, and it's such a great reveal to his character that no, he's not outsmarting. He's obsessed with Batman. Yeah, like he hasn't figured the Batman out. He's not trying to get the Batman. He doesn't hate the Batman. He was just trying to get the Batman there to survive and be a team with him. Yeah, like it's such a great way they connected it all. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely
definitely.
loved it. That leads us to, that final moment. Falcone's killed. Everyone knows, all the dirt on everybody. And the Riddler gets himself arrested on purpose. And there's that great scene in the diner that's at the start of one of the trailers, where he's just drawing a question mark in the foam of his coffee. And he gets arrested. He does not seem phased. And it's because he planned the whole thing.
Yeah.
He planned for the arrest because, he wanted to be arrested and then share that. And obviously his plan was to blow up the fucking river walls to the city, the flood walls, and then cause chaos and not be there and all that shit. But I don't know, man. I just love the way it all flowed. I love the way it all connected, and it culminated in that interrogation scene with Batman and the Riddler, and I thought that was the climax of the movie for me. And I felt like it went on maybe a bit too long after this scene, is I guess my feelings. Like, it should have gone straight into that action and that final bit, but it really... I don't know. I felt like maybe that end bit was a bit long after this scene, because I felt like this was the moment the movie had been building towards. This is the scene that I wanted to see the whole time. I didn't need there to be some big fight and battle at the end. I needed it to be a battle of the minds at the end of the movie. I needed the detective to meet the psychological killer, and I needed the battle of the minds, and we got that. But then after that, we also got like a fist fight, and I'm like, yeah,
it was a good fist fight though. It was a cool fist fight.
It was a great fist fight.
Good.
No doubt about it. It was great, and I did enjoy it. I did love it. I'm not trying to just sit here and criticize it. I just mean it just wasn't the best part of the movie for me, and that had already happened by the time they were doing that.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the best part of the film. Although I liked that they did it because of sort of, I guess how it just led the narrative forwards after that point. Like the whole, like the moment of when he defeats all of the Riddler's cultists, and like they take off the dude's mask. And they're like, "Who are
just
you?"
Some
and
like QAnon crazy people.
Yeah,
like
the guy says he's like, "I'm
cases.
vengeance," and then Batman's like, "Oh shit! Like, I really did inspire all this shit to happen. Like, what have I done? Like, I need to make sure that this isn't what I'm doing." And then that causes him to, he jumps and saves the guys from that fucking electric thing, and then he then he stops to help the people out and lead them out to safety. Which is something he wouldn't have done in the past. He would beat up the bad guys and disappear, but this time he sticks around, he helps the people, he leads them out, and it's just this moment of like the first time in the movie we really see Batman being a hero. And the sun's rising as well. It's not just him at night. Exactly. Yeah, it's really, really cool. And I think it was a well-earned moment, and it felt like this arc had sort of completed, or at least the sort of the start of the arc had completed in the film, to lead us into what comes next.
It was a fantastic moment, the way they wrapped that up. I totally agree. Like like I said, the sun rising, feeling like this is the first time we've seen Batman in the day, like in this sort of light, and just how beaten and battered he is, and that person like that didn't want to let him go when they're on the stretcher getting helicoptered out from the top of the arena, and it's like, wow, that's like really special, and I had a great monologue. But I do want to pull back to this interrogation scene. I really want to sit here for a bit on it, because I think it's fucking masterful, because we've touched over it like 3 times this podcast, but I want to dive into like line by line type thing, because the way this conversation flowed was so fucking great. Because the way it starts off, the Riddler's like talking to Batman, and they're still at odds. Like, you still don't realize that the Riddler's planned and obsessed with Batman. Like, he's always said, we could be a team, you and I, like, and all this sort of stuff, but it feels very disingenuous. Like, it doesn't feel quite serious. It feels like, oh, we can be a team, but I'm telling you we're a team. You don't have a choice. I'm forcing you to be out of my sick game. So it didn't feel like he was on the same side. Like, he just felt like, I'm using you and you're weak and I'm better than you. But it wasn't the case. It was like, no, genuinely, like, I want to be a team with you. I'm obsessed with you. And they built so slow to that because you feel like he's about to reveal his plan to Batman, which he is, but it's going to be how Batman is going to die somehow and how, you know what I mean? Where it's, and it sort of leads down that road and you're still thinking, I'm like, yeah, why did he target Bruce Wayne? Like, yeah, I guess he's connected, but does he know he's Batman? And then he kept saying, sitting there and he goes, Bruce Wayne. He keeps repeating Bruce Wayne. And you know, at that point, I'm dead certain he knows he's Bruce Wayne. And I'm like, if he knows he's Bruce Wayne, oh, fuck. And do you know what this movie does? I have not felt like this maybe ever in any live action superhero movie where I'm like, oh my God, I'm stressed. They cannot find out if Batman's Bruce Wayne. It feels very vulnerable, this Batman. Like, he feels like a lot more vulnerable as Batman and as Bruce Wayne because you saw what happened to Alfred.
Yeah.
And as well how, like, he's not the, like, strongest yet and he's not the smartest, especially as Bruce Wayne. So it's like, holy fuck, they cannot find out he's Bruce Wayne. That cannot get out. He can't tell anyone. Like, they really does feel important that he doesn't tell anyone this secret.
Yeah.
And when he's saying Bruce Wayne, you're like, holy fuck. And you see in the eyes of Batman, like, holy fuck, he's figured it out. And then he's like, Bruce Wayne, that one that got away, but we got everyone else, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh.
And I'm like, oh,
it was so good.
Shit. Oh shit. Is he think he's a team with him? And then he does that reveal monologue where he's like how much he looks up to him and how they've worked together and he did this for him and he invited him here because he wants to share his plan with him and he wants to watch it happen together and all this stuff. And we're the same.
Yeah.
And it's not like when the Joker, then when he said that, I had that flashback to the Joker of like, you're the same, you and I. Like, and it is sort of that callback moment. But the reason Joker says you're the same, you and I, in the sense of there's an element of them that connects them that's the same. And in every other way, they're exact opposites, and that's why they need each other. That's what the Joker means by it, is like they need each other. Whereas, like, Riddler here legitimately thinks they're the same.
Yeah. Like,
they're really good guys, really great, working together for the greater good. So when Batman says, I'm nothing like you, and, like, literally it's like, he has no sympathy. He doesn't fall down that rabbit hole and end up blaming himself. He really feels like offended that this guy got his idea from him. And he gets so angry. I'm nothing like you. I would never do what you did. I'd never kill people. And then starts calling him a freak and all this shit. I'm like, oh wow, he's getting really upset by this.
Yeah.
And he's getting like emotional about it. Which I liked the fragility. Is that a word? Fragility?
I think so.
Like something being fragile. The fragility of... look at my fucking English. Who would have thought I'm from a prison colony? The fragility of this Batman really came through in that moment. Even just his own emotional strength to stay calm in that situation. He's banging on the wall like, what have you done? And then finding out the master plan and him sort of going between the crying and the celebrating and all this sort of shit. Like, it was just so... I thought it was just the best scene of the movie and rivaled like The Dark Knight in terms of that Batman Joker moment. I'm like, that is the best Batman villain interaction since that. Wow.
Yeah, it was really well done. Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Like, I want to see this Riddler come back down the road. Maybe not the next movie, but maybe, you know what I mean? Doesn't have to be the main villain, but reappears. I want to see that interaction again. I want to see what could happen. There's more to be done there.
Yeah.
There's more. Like, because Batman never got hands on the Riddler. Batman never got hands on the Riddler in this movie.
Yeah, true.
Like, is that a first that's ever happened? Batman didn't land a punch on the Riddler the whole movie. Has that ever happened in the history of a Batman film where the main villain doesn't even get a punch from Batman? Yeah, that's never happened.
That's wild. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, neither did I. I'm like, not one. He was behind a glass fucking wall. He didn't arrest him. Everything went according to the Riddler's plan. You know, in so many ways, other than that Batman... The only thing that didn't get on his plan was that Batman wasn't on his team and that Batman stopped it.
Yeah.
You know, really well done.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Yeah, it was great.
And then they try to ruin the Riddler too with putting him with the Joker. It's like, no.
Just let it go, man. Let it go.
Don't do that.
It doesn't matter.
Why put that in the movie? Why put it in the movie? I just want to know why you put it in the movie. That's all.
Because Joker's cool. he's cool and he do the laugh.
Well, like, and why'd you? And when I found out who it was, too, I was like, oh no, whatever.
How would I know it's a Batman movie if the Joker wasn't in it?
Maybe because the Batman's in it?
No, I don't know who that is.
What about Alfred?
No.
Bruce Wayne?
I don't know these people. I know the Joker. I've only seen Joker, the film. I was waiting for it to show up the whole time.
Well, you would know who Bruce Wayne is. You know who Thomas Wayne is. If you've
No, I wasn't. I wasn't paying attention to Joker when I watched it. I just saw the clown dance in the bathroom, and I wanted that again.
Did ya?
Yeah, right. It was good.
So you wanted to see the clown dancing.
I wanted to see the clown, and he said clown in the Batman, and so I was satisfied.
Is that why it was your favourite scene in the movie, would you say?
Yeah, I probably would say that.
Did you see this directly because you saw Joker, would you say?
Yeah. 100% on the money with that statement.
So, but then, are you not concerned that the Joker you saw is not the same Joker that was in this movie?
I mean...
It's a great question.
It's a very good question. And I think on the whole...
It's a multiverse.
Well, I would say this Joker is because of the other Joker, you know? How he raised an army of Jokers. It's probably one of those Jokers, you know?
So what happened to your Joker?
He's about, you know?
How's... You know, because Bruce Wayne was a kid and his parents died in, what, 2002 in this movie? 2001, sorry, in this movie?
Perhaps.
But we know that they died in, like, the 60s. How did that happen?
Oh, time travel.
Because I've only seen the Joker also.
Have you not seen Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Hey, bro. We don't mention that.
Well,
not even as a bit. Not even to add to the bit.
No, listen. If the Flash went back in time,
right? Okay.
Then anything's possible here.
Right.
Even Superman wearing a black suit. Is
Michael Keaton returning as Batman in this Flash movie?
He is.
Do I hear that right?
He is. Yeah.
What the fuck? Why? Are they really trying to be No Way Home? Why are they always trying to?
They're always trying to be Marvel. Guys. They're always just trying to be Marvel.
Shitter.
And it's like why they make shit films. It's so weird. They're like, oh, they did Marvel, the Infinity War. We need to do Justice League right away and not build up to it or characterize any of our characters. Oh,
yeah, don't be Marvel. Be you.
Be DC,
do what you did with the Batman. Yeah. Do individual care about your characters as individuals first and foremost. Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about gimmicks and don't worry about team up movies. You haven't earned that. Focus on characters first. That is what Marvel did. They made the characters first and earned an Avengers movie and then just continued to build. And then they were playing around with gimmicks because they've done the characters so many times. They're like, we need fucking gimmicks.
Yeah.
We need a multiverse.
And you don't even need to do team ups with DC. You honestly don't need to.
No, God, no. Please
especially not with this Batman. Like,
never ever do anything with Superman with this Batman. For the love of Jesus Christ. No, actually, I can't say that. I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
You know.
You're right. You can't.
I can't say Jesus Christ anymore.
What have you done?
Yeah. I'm no longer Christian.
As you were before, yeah.
Yeah, as I was before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, you know. I'm Jewish, but I don't believe in God. That's still true.
Yeah, that makes sense.
True.
Yeah.
Both can be true. Because Judaism is a race, as well, and a people, as well as a religion.
Yeah.
And that I am, 4%.
Amazing.
That's a fucking fact. That's a fucking fact right there. It's not no percent.
It's not, no.
It's not 9%.
It is for me, I would think.
Yeah, I think we know that.
I should do one of those things. I should find out what my
I'd be really interested.
Ancestry is.
Do you know what? Because it goes like 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
I just would laugh if it's just like, because it has a geographic map of like all the different countries and stuff you have genetic matches in. And yours is like not only just the UK, it's Northampton. Like 1,000 years, it doesn't lift the Earth. It doesn't lift. It's just one fucking dot.
The dot does not move.
Someone's fucked a cousin in there. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, that has happened. That has to have happened in 1,000 years. There's inbreeding going on.
Yeah.
That we do know.
Yeah.
But we know Elva's your sister, so
that's
that
true.
We also do know.
That is true. Yeah.
That we also do know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie ends. The movie
ends.
And Catwoman asks him to leave with her. He says no, and the characters go their separate ways.
They do.
Selena, the Batman.
Symbolically,
what do you think of the romance?
And literally as well on their motorbikes.
To sort of at the tail end of this movie, what did you think of their romance?
I think you could have done without so much kissing. Maybe just the one kiss at the end would have been like they've got they're sort of like got a little bit of a thing. Maybe, who knows? Are they sort of into each other a little bit? Like, that's kind of how Batman and Catwoman works normally.
I guess they sort of. I think the reason they did it was to establish that they're obviously interested in each other, and they both know they're interested in each other when it came to that final decision and question at the end of the movie. Like, it was already sort of established that they were really into each other and really cared about each other. Like, because they both almost died for the other person at the end. They'd shared a kiss. It got to that decision where she's like, do you want to come with me? And we know he's going to say no, but to be fair, there was a part of me that's like, he should say yes to this.
Should he?
You know what I mean? Like, he should say yes to this.
But she's
in theory,
she does bad things.
No, I understand, but he's had been such a good influence on her. And there's just this element of like, theoretically, it's like, you should go with her and live a normal life. Fuck, you'd be like, it's not some good mantle you get by choosing to be the Batman. It's a fucking weight. It's a burden.
Yeah.
That you are choosing to carry. And it's like, bro, get the fuck off that shit. Go hang out with fucking Zoe. Jesus Christ, what are you doing, dude?
Oh my god.
What are you doing? Like, I'm just sitting there yelling at no, go with her.
Yeah.
That was me yelling in the cinema.
Yeah, just pretend to blow yourself up, then show up in a cafe in Europe, and Alfred can come spot you. And be
in
like,
Florence.
Hey, you're doing well, mate, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that Alfred and that Bruce Wayne combo.
Michael Caine was very good.
Michael Caine and Christian Bale, dude?
Yeah, they were good. They were very good.
Wow. Two of the great actors all time. All the time right there.
Yeah.
So, okay. We've smashed through this movie. To sort of wrap up, to tail end it, James. Where do you rank the Batman right now? We know you're a knee-jerker. We know your mind will change. That we do know. So we can say that it's going to change, and that's okay. You've got a free pass to know that this does not stand permanently. But right now, at this very moment, how do you feel? Where do you rank the Batman?
I'm not confident to say that it's my 100% my favorite. Part of that might just be because The Dark Knight is so iconic, and I feel like I can't ever say anything's better than it. So I might have to give it a while for it to settle. Yeah, but in my head I'm like, I feel like I've never liked the Nolan films as much as everybody else does. Not to say I don't absolutely love them and think they're some of the best films, but I feel like people really put them on a pedestal. So I guess for me, it's not too hard to dethrone them as the best Batman films, as long as you do all the things that I want to do. So at the minute, I would say it's up there with The Dark Knight. I can't say it's better than it because there is so much in The Dark Knight that is so good. Especially the Joker is just fantastic in every way. There's so many little things as well in that film. So it's tough to say, but it's up there, tied with it, sort of, I guess, at the minute in my mind. There's every possibility that I'll put it above it in the months to come, or it'll settle for second place.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's better than Batman Begins, and definitely better than Dark Knight Rises, in my mind. Okay.
Well, that's totally fair. I feel a similar way. I mean, I've talked about in this podcast so many times about how much I think The Dark Knight is better, but in the sense of like how much I love Christian Bale as Batman as Bruce Wayne, but like you said, the Joker. The Joker, like there's so many things I love about The Dark Knight and those Batman films without it even looking at the Joker. But then you add the Joker in, Heath Ledger, one of the great Australians all time. Amazing actor, such an incredible actor. And always was, even before he ever played the Joker. But what he did with that character is so, like, iconic's an understatement. Like, it really is a forever cemented in pop culture. Forever.
Yeah.
Like, immortal. That's the level of performance that was. And so when it comes to it, like, that alone, and I adore The Dark Knight. The way I look at it is this. At best, The Batman's my second favourite Batman film. At worst, it's third. At worst, it's third. And I guess it depends on your two categories. What would I rather watch? It's third. What's a better Batman movie? It's second. Because I'd rather watch The Dark Knight Rises, but it's not a better Batman movie. I just think it's a better movie. Like, that's and that's my bias towards Christopher Nolan and the way he directs movies and I love that movie. I genuinely think The Dark Knight Rises is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I love the film. I think it's great.
But it's not a better Batman film than The Batman. Not even close. The Dark Knight Rises isn't even third. You know what I mean? Like, it's low on the list of, like, if you're looking for a Batman sort of, like, vibe, atmosphere, tone, all that sort of stuff, you're not going to get in The Dark. You get bits, but not a lot. Whereas The Dark Knight, it just, what it does for the Bruce Wayne character, I love the portrayal of Batman. At that stage of the Batman's career where, like, the height of popularity hasn't fallen from grace, and that those themes that Harvey Dent, you know, the famous line, how many famous lines in that movie? The other day, hero, live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Like, that was the theme of the movie. And that's such an interesting story arc to portray, like, thematically for a villain of the movie and also for our hero in the eyes of public opinion.
Yeah.
Ended up becoming the villain through also facing the greatest villain. So I still put The Dark Knight number one. But the Batman, I thought Robert Pattinson is also my second favourite Batman as an actor. I think he is incredible. I think he could, you know, in time be my favourite. But just from this one movie, not yet. But I love his portrayal of Batman. I thought it was fucking phenomenal. I thought the way Matt Reeves crafted the portrayal of Batman as a character, from costume to the movement to the voice to the script to the tone to the direction to everything, nailed Batman. Nailed Batman. Nailed Riddler. Did a lot of characters really well. I don't think he did anything necessarily bad other than one scene we won't talk about again. You know, like, I just thought the movie was so tonally good. That first hour was perfection. That serial killer movie tone that I really wanted to see out of the film. My only gripe is that one scene I don't like, and I did think there were some things you could take away to add more time for other characters, and it felt maybe 10-15 minutes too long. Not like, oh wow, it's half an hour too long. But 10, max 15 minutes too long. That's just me. That's just me.
That's fair. That's fair.
How about you, James?
I think overall, this is the Batman film. Like, it's my Batman film. I feel like I'm like I said before, I'm yet to have that one film where, you know, when I look at Spider-Man, I'm like, Spider-Man 2 is that film where it's like, that's my Spider-Man film. Like, they did it. That's exactly the Spider-Man for me. Whereas I've never really...
I need to talk to you about this as well, because I just rewatched Spider-Man 2. I've really been...
Really?
Getting back into, like, Spider-Man. Like, I just really... I've never liked Tobey Maguire so much as I have after No Way Home.
Yeah.
But I've gone back and watched Spider-Man, like the Spider-Man 2, and I'm like, man, there's still all these things I really don't like about what Tobey Maguire does as Peter Parker in those movies that I just can't get the itch, bro. And I was like, I need to tell James this. I can't get the itch that he's gonna snap. Like, when, like, at the start of the first 45 minutes of the movie, I'm like, dude, this guy's going to snap and murder someone. That's the vibe I get from him, because the world's just absolutely shitting all over Peter Parker for the first 45 minutes of the movie, and I'm like, he's on the edge of snapping.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was going to kill MJ at one point.
Yeah, well,
I was like, he's literally going to stab MJ
that's
in the
the
face.
thing. That's the thing. I mean,
has some serial killer rage that just comes over him.
The only movie I've ever watched is Joker. So when I watched Spider-Man 2 for the first time, I did think that I thought that was every film. So I did think it was his one bad day. They were really setting it up well.
Yeah, the only film you've ever seen. It's not the only time. I thought it was the only rendition of the Joker you'd seen.
No, it's the only film I'd ever seen for a while.
Only film you'd ever seen at the time was the movie Joker, directed by Todd Phillips.
Yeah.
But since then, you've seen Spider-Man 2.
Since then, I've seen Spider-Man 2 and now the Batman, so...
Yeah. Is there any other movies you've seen?
No. No. None of the movies. Those are the three. Those are my top 3 movies of all time. They're also the only 3 movies I've ever seen. They're all very good, though.
Dude.
What was I saying?
Yeah, it's a bit odd, though. It's a bit of an odd set of movies you've seen. Which I don't know why I think he's going to break and kill people, but yeah.
Yeah.
But back to Batman.
Spider-Man 2, like I said, is my Spider-Man film, and I think the Batman is finally my Batman film that I feel so... Like, to me, it's going to be hard almost to go back and watch the Nolan films just because of how rich and gritty this version of Gotham is. It's the exact Gotham... Like, it's what I think of when I think of Gotham. So to me, like, it's going to feel weird to go back to watching those Nolan films at some point where Gotham isn't that version of Gotham that I have in my head. It's, that version of Gotham works for that set of films, but it's almost like this is everything Batman that I needed it to be, and it does that for me in such a way where I do feel like in 6 months' time this probably will be my favorite Batman film. I feel like I'll be able to confidently say that. I'm just not willing to do it now in case I do go back on it, which I may well do. You will go back on it.
Yeah, so, you always do.
We'll see. But that's how I feel overall. Yeah, great film.
Great film. Well, if there's nothing else, ladies and gentlemen, that was our spoiler cast.
Amazing.
For the Batman. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Of course, have that discussion. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of hate for this podcast.
Nah.
I just have that vibe.
Why? Because you didn't say it was perfect.
Yeah, I do. I genuinely do feel that way. Like, I have to think this is the greatest Batman movie of all time. Like, I said I'd rather watch The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I guess people are going to be like, wait, that means you hate it.
Yeah.
Which isn't the case,
Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, I just feel like people say that. But that's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah. I don't mind. Yeah. It just means more comments, which means more engagement, which means maybe we get more views and money.
That's a good... That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. Which is also partly why I started with the discussion of the one scene I hated. I spent way too much time on it because that feeling people get when you talk something negative about something they like, it really builds up an emotion for that person. And I feel like they end up loving you and want to come back for more. They'll hate me for a while, but eventually I turn the haters around.
Yeah.
Turn them around. That's how it works.
Point. You do turn them around. What?
You started. No, you just said it a bit weird. I don't know. You do. You do turn them around.
Yeah. Well, like literally.
I physically, I'll just grab them and just turn them around.
You turn them around. You give them a little nudge, push them away.
Come on. Yeah. Of course. I don't know what that means. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into this episode of the As Always podcast.
Thank you all so much.
Where we chatted about the Batman. Be sure to rate us over, of course, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those things. Give us reviews. That genuinely helps us get discovered and seen, and algorithm pushes us up. Again, liking this video on the network. If you're watching it on YouTube, subscribe to the network, comment. Algorithm helps us build the show, which means more money for us, but it also means the more money we make, we genuinely spend it all by doing more of this shit.
I'll buy Blu-rays of more movies to watch.
Well, no, I was more thinking, more time that we put into making, video content.
I can't do another Spoilercast unless I watch another film.
Like, you think me flying over to the UK making content for you fucks is like I'm making money? Oh, it costs so much money to fly around the world.
Losing money. Actually, I'm making money is what's happening.
Oh, yeah, James makes money. It costs me a lot.
I'll get Tyler on stream and I'll get a few gifted subs.
Why we don't do some sort of like stream to fund these sorts of things?
Shouldn't we?
We really like, you know what I mean? Because we're gonna make like, and there'd be rewards like, if we raise this much, then we'll do this sort of like. It's literally like you're paying for the content.
Yeah,
it
well,
just
we
also
can't
helps.
Do it
we
now.
We can't do it without me getting over that. No, well, I mean, we could. We
could, but you've already said it now. Like, you've already said you're planning on coming over. People are like, well, he's going to do it anyway. I don't need to give him my money.
It is true. No, you're right. And you're 100% right. I'm going to do it anyway. It is costing me... Oh, that's a lot of money. And did I want to spend it? No, but I just really need to get out of the country and go traveling. So
yeah,
I'm like,
that's fair.
Fuck
that's
it.
Fair.
We're doing it. That's all, you know. I'm going to put that out there. Just saying, you know. But I'll tell you how you could support us and support that.
With Tyler's PayPal.me link.
As always. Yeah, okay, that too. That too, direct to me. But I was more thinking patreon.com/as always, because straight away you're getting content. Straight away you're getting bang for your buck. $1 a month, you get over 130 episodes of the Clubhouse podcast. That's the best podcast on the internet, plus a lot of other cool bonuses, perks, and rewards. Go check it out. Patreon.com/as always. We've got the topics thread up for our next Clubhouse that we're recording this week. Can't wait for it. So get amongst It's the People's Podcast, powered by you, the people, and also powered by the people is this credits list for the podcast. So thank you to those people. We have Ollie the Superior Ollie, Damien, the Not So Orange Gnome, Ferentino, Flash Paradox, Franco, Jasper Olsen, King Richard III, Olbrich, Ryan Hafer, Viridian, Bullseye 47, Aragon, Kimasaba, Gamma, Cream Pie, Sakaris, aka Kieran, Adam, Tobias Forge, Simp, Alfie Rodbert, Andy Cure, Big Dick 66999, Ben Higgins is thankful for his stick brethren, Benedict Clobbers, BFHC, Biggest Fucking Virgin, Bodge, BQ Overlord, The Elder, Brian Ford, Call Me Daddy, Christian0210, Conor Rose, Bill in the Alley, Dry Man, Gamer 101, Eli, Emil Catborg, Redito Hacker, Ethan Dean, Fishy, Furious Coco, Gene, Give Me a Penis, Ginkgo Swag, Gwen Hughes, Hooky, Jack, DG 1998, Jaden B. Bennett, Joe the Founded Scab, Josh Duvillier, Josh J. Anderson, Joshua Mora, Kassassin, Christian Rowe, Liam, Luca, Lucas R05, Louis De Leon, Loomis Rad, Murray 5380, Massabas, Max H, Muddy Unicorn, Nick Mill, Otica World 7, our best of favorite mod, Brownie, Radok, Ravjai, Seth, Son of a Bitch, OG Doggo, So, James hates the Batman too because he kills people, Sparky Bucks, Sussy Imposter, Amogus Moment, The Blue Cow, The Sex Haver, aka Zacchino, Theftmas, Tony, Walshy, and Zeppo. Thank you, Swift Visualize helping power this podcast, and we'll see you this Sunday for another episode of the Clubhouse podcast on Patreon.
See you later.
Tune in for that. Thank you guys. Goodbye.